Hey, what's up, guys? So tonight's video is going to be about a little hard to describe the title. Trying to think, 'cause I didn't plan it in terms of the title, but a lot of my viewers are very intelligent, from what I assume, and I'll just put it this way: dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, your brain chemistry. So this is something that's, from what I've seen, from when I was obsessing on YouTube, going through video after video after channel after channel after channel after channel after channel after channel, withdrawal videos, etc., 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 etc. Nobody seemed to really speak on this subject in depth, or for this subject at all. So I'm gonna do it for you guys. Now, your brain produces, I don't want to get into the neuroscience right now. I'm tired. But I will try to nutshell it for you guys. Let me see how much time I have. All right. I'm gonna try to nutshell it for you guys as well as I can. Some people out there in this world are, I don't want to say stupid, because I don't judge people's belief systems. I don't judge their outlooks on life. I don't judge their spirituality. I'm spiritual. It's My spirituality is very complex. That's for a whole nother video. But I'm gonna try to explain this to you guys so you don't seem overwhelmed by what's going on if you are new to recovery. No matter what substance, cocaine, even though the physical withdrawal, it's not really, it's not really you know as prevalent as opiate withdrawal or benzodiazepine withdrawal or alcohol withdrawal or certain substances. It's not as prevalent. So regardless, up there in your brain, dopamine. This is why they call a lot of drugs dope. I don't care if it's coke, heroin, not weed. I personally, I don't give a damn what anybody. I'm sorry if you think marijuana, which I don't even smoke. I was maybe once or twice a week, but then I just stopped completely. It's a very rare occasion for me that I smoke. Because when I do, I'm bobbing to my own pulse. And it actually has a benefit to me. Like, it puts me in a perspective of looking around, and I'm like, I could be in the midst of benzo withdrawal and smoke weed. Yeah, it might make me panic, but at the same time, there's another side where I'm looking and I'm like, what's going on? I'm going through benzo withdrawal. Okay, am I? Oh, my heart's racing. Yeah, I guess I am. I lost my job. I've got a felony, which I don't have any criminal record or anything like that, but you get what I'm saying. So when it comes to dopaminergic substances that act on certain receptors in your brain that produce dopamine, when you do that for a while, what you're doing is making every and any moment in your life, if you have the substance, whenever you want, you are making it the best time you've ever had, right? So it's like, oh, it's a rainy day. Oh, well, I'm gonna put it on the foil, and you might nod out, you might not. Like me, I didn't nod. I wasn't a nodder. I nodded once when I found out the M30s were not prescription Roxasets, and I took 1/8, and I was like, yep. I was like, this is not prescription. I knew it. That's why I broke it up into 1/8, and I'm nodding out. I can see it. I am aware of it. This isn't cool. Sorry, my TV's flipping from scene to scene. And, you know, whenever I wanted, even though I microdosed my fentanyl, which is why I eventually was like, I'm gonna, microdose my buprenorphine because I understand the pharmacokinetic formulation of it. I understand how it works in the brain. So, precipitated withdrawal, the half life, the um, the potency of it. It might not be like heroin, fentanyl, methadone, morphine in terms of full agonists, but it's still potent. Obviously, why when you take it too soon, it puts you into precip. It's potent, dude. It says, hey, opioids or opiates, move, go over. I'm coming in now. And then you go through withdrawal. Um, and I put myself in a precip on purpose, and I don't even want to talk about that right now. That was, whew. But anyway, you're creating not the eventually not the best times of your life, but whenever you want that rush of, well, I'm in bed, it's a rainy day, I'm off work, or I don't have a job, I have my stuff, and I'm gonna hit this dope. And they get happy. You know what I mean? You're forcing dopamine into your brain, and you feel good. You might not feel blitzed out of your skull. You might not feel as high as you used to be, dude. But you still get that good mood, and you have the option to do that when you want. So you're making any situation you want the best time that you can have that day. Best way I can put it. Not ever. Not like the first time you took a Percocet where you were like, ah, I can do this the rest of my life. Oh, 1 5 milligram? Oh, yeah. And the second one, oh, this is nice. And sometimes people, the third one, and they get really overwhelmed in a good way. They're like, oh, this is amazing. You're forcing your entire brain to basically go laying in bed while doing nothing and watching a show. I could do this forever. And the other thing is like association, right? I've spoken about this in past videos where when you associate the drug, no matter what it is, cocaine or amphetamines, opioids, opiates, any drug that puts you in a good mood, even kratom, you associate it with everything you do. And when you get off that drug, try doing all that stuff without it. Your mind and your brain, which are two separate entities, are going to work together and go, hey, this isn't fun anymore. And a warning to people that are just starting to use, don't associate your usage with everything you do. Because I guarantee you, eventually, you're going to associate it with everything that you're doing. And that's going to make recovery, oh my God, a whole lot harder. So, anyway, back to the point of what I was trying to get to, right? So, pretty much, when you when you become sensitive to dopamine in your brain, it's going to become second nature. And that's going to suck, trust me. It might seem fun for when you're doing it, but it's not fun. Then you decide you've had enough, right? I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. This is too much. I gotta get help. You go to rehab, detox, you stay your 3, 6, 9, 110, 120, 130, 150, whatever. You kick it at home, outpatient. Some people can do it. Some people cold turkey without any help. Whatever the case is. This is what I want to explain to you guys, right? Look at me. So, depression, anxiety, in recovery, you're gonna feel blah. You're gonna feel, what do I do? What now? All this using, all these times meeting dealers and meeting, my whoever to get my stuff and using my stuff and waiting, and finally getting it. Going through minor withdrawal and then feeling better, and it feels even better when you take your substance after waiting a certain amount of time, hours or a day or days, whatever. So think of it like this, right? Your brain chemistry, like I said, in terms of dopamine, serotonin, your norepinephrine system, everything is all, hey, we're not used to this. So we're going to give you depression or anxiety or insomnia or anhedonia or agoraphobia or different psychological issues that you're not going to understand at first until you either get help or whatever. So I want to explain to you guys that it's very dramatic, and that's okay. It's dramatic to feel, you know, why is recovery so hard? I did all this work to get here. I'm clean. I'm pissing negative for everything, and I don't feel good at all. Think of this. First of all, of course you don't feel good, dude. Of course, you're going from a life of deciding when you want to feel good, great, or amazing on the basis of your decision whenever you want, dude. Like, it's raining, hit a dope, no matter what the drug is. I got fired, hit a dope. Someone yelled at me, hit a dope. Got broken up with, hit a dope. My favorite show's on, yay, hit a dope. What an amazing day I had. More hits of dope. So you take it away, whether it's voluntarily or through intervention, whatever the case is for you guys. There's a lot of people that have different stories. Now, some people might argue that imbalances are not real. That there's not, imbalances aren't real. Oh, there's no imbalances. It's all you. Shut up. Because if that were the case, you can get off your drug and be perfectly fine, right, guys? You can get off and be fine and just go about your life and never think about a drug again. No, that's not how it works. You know that's not how it works. So you have a depletion, you have a deficiency, you have an imbalance of certain chemicals in your brain, and when you're living with that in recovery, your brain is not, it's not, it's like training your dog, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden telling your dog, you don't got to follow the rules anymore. Your dog is going to go, well, I'm still going to do it. Here's my paw. Give me a treat. Feed me at 5 p.m. Feed me at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. Your brain's accustomed to that whole routine, that schedule. So now you've come off of however hard your usage was, and you don't have that anymore. So now you're left with either the baseline or a deficiency where your brain is going to take some time to get back to normality. Now, sometimes that doesn't mean that your brain's not producing the proper amounts of dopamine or balancing serotonin, or your norepinephrine system is going haywire up and down throughout the day and all. Sometimes people go back to baseline to the way they were before they used drugs, but you've been on drugs so long that you get put back into that world and you're like, now what? Life is boring. Sometimes it's not necessarily anhedonia, it's association disorder. It's the association you gave yourself, which, don't beat yourself up over it, guys. I used, y'all used, we put ourselves into these states, you know what I mean? And you're gonna, you're gonna feel like, blah. What do I do now? Now, here's something I want to put into your heads, because if I don't do this and tell you this, right, you're going to feel stranded. Sorry, guys, my dog had to go out, and she was, like I said before, they are conditioned and accustomed to a certain routine, which is the same thing. Like I said, your brain is accustomed to a certain routine. So the imbalance in your brain, it's gonna throw you off. You're gonna be left after recovery, and you're going to sit there and be like, at first, you might sit on the pink cloud, you might jump from cloud to cloud, it might last a while, and shit, that's great. Enjoy it. But when you feel that dip, and that rise, and that dip, I don't want you to think it's you in terms of who you are. I don't want you to think it's even your environment or the stimuli in your life. It's not always that. It's the fact that, one, you've been accustomed to something for so long, and now you've been stripped from that completely, and now you're in a deserted zone where you're like an adonit. You're like, I don't enjoy anything. Now what? Doesn't necessarily mean you're incapable of enjoying anything in your life ever again. It doesn't mean that. It means you went from one extreme to another. Now, back to imbalances, like I was saying, they're real. Your brain might, most chances are it will, have misfires. It might have, ups and ups and ups, and then all the way up, like a roller coaster, dude. Like roller coasters, it's the same. It's like a roller coaster. Up, down, up, down, hit the ground, come back up, go to the sky, come back down. You might even feel high, like you're all freaking dope again, dude. Like there was times when I was coming off dope, and when I was clean, and I felt like I just took a hit of dope, and I'm like, ooh, this feels great. Didn't last. Then I went down to baseline, and that's you're gonna respond very dramatically to it, and that's okay. But the reason I'm making this video is so I can help you to understand that all those aspects, because there are multiple aspects of the up and downs. My viewers will tell you straight up, especially the new viewers, the ups and downs can go from roller coasters 100 feet down to 20 feet to 100 feet to 20 feet to 100 feet to 30,000 feet like an airplane, to down to zero to fucking hell and back up. And it's this also has to do with pre-existing conditions, ADHD. uh, there's a lot of misdiagnoses of bipolar disorder when it comes to recovery, panic disorder, GAD, general anxiety disorder, and there's a lot of misdiagnoses. I mean, can't really blame the doctors, but at the same time, a lot of these doctors should know this. Misfires and imbalances, like I said a few videos ago, translate to human thought, terminology, and action and emotion. So, for example, let's say I give you a massive, a massive deficiency of dopamine. Like, let's say I hand it to you in a cup and you drink it. Thanks for the dopamine deficiency. Is that what the drink is called? Yeah, hold on. Oh my god. And then like 10 minutes later you're like, well, that was weird. That was a little overwhelming. Wow. What do I do now? And then again. And then again. A lot of people that are not aware of this concept are going to take it as, I need to hit a meeting, I need therapy, I need this, I need antidepressants, SSRIs, SNRIs, I need this, I need that. But if you really think about it in terms of dopaminergic fluctuations, serotonin storms, serotonin imbalances, norepinephrine ups and downs, not stability throughout the day, which contributes to your ADHD factor. Which a lot of you guys might have ADHD, and that might be why you used. Like for me, it wasn't the dope. It wasn't the euphoria from the opiates that attracted me. It was the energy boost, almost like the way cocaine does. You know what I mean? It was the energy boost, and that's what I liked the most. The euphoria was just an unfortunate side effect. Sounds weird. Some people want the euphoria. Some people don't realize that it's not what they wanted. They wanted the hyper focus and energy aspect. But it translates to human thought, terminology, action, and emotion. So if I give you all of these imbalances in a cup full of liquid and you drink it, you digest it and it starts to work. You're going to feel sad moods, negative memories. You're going to think about things, bad things, or sad emotions, feelings, memories, whatever. You're going to think about them really hard. You're going to react to them very extremely. You're going to act on some of those things. You're going to, some people self-harm. Some people commit suicide. You know what I mean? Some people commit themselves to asylum. Some people do all types of things. And if you can understand the concept of the imbalances and fluctuations and deficiencies inside your brain, and that they translate into the things that I just told you, you can tell yourself these aren't real. This is not me. The imbalances translate into how you think and feel and act. It actually is a simple concept, but it's not easy to deal with. But when I tell it to you this way, you can think to yourself, huh, well, that's why I was thinking about these things today. And, I'm this far off of whatever drug I was doing or drugs. And now I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously not me. It's not real. It's not who I am. But it's not comfortable. No, of course it's not comfortable. But it's not you. And some people are strong enough to, like me. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying I was intelligent enough to distinguish the difference between imbalances and the translation into my thoughts, terminologies, my actions, my emotions, my emotional responses to those thoughts, and differentiate who I really am as opposed to what I just said. You guys need to do that. You need to understand it's not real, guys. If you're doing dope for so long, yeah, you're gonna have anhedonia. You're not gonna have interest in things and all that stuff. You can rewire your brains. You can do it. Sometimes some people are like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I know this isn't me. This isn't real, and I'm not gonna let it control me. Yeah, I'm gonna do things, and I'm not gonna be happy about them, but I'm gonna do them unconsciously, on autopilot. I'm gonna do it, and eventually I'll enjoy them again. And guess what? They do. So just know that those imbalances, when they transfer into these different, you know, parts of you that aren't really you, it's not you. This happens, and you have to understand that it will subside. In addiction, this is what I was thinking about today. There's times where, and listen to me, guys, and a lot of you guys will attest to this. No, you will. There's a switch inside your brain. Now, a lot of the times, addicts that are trying to recover are trying to seek out that switch, that on and off switch, snap back into reality switch, and they find it. And then when they find it, they're like, here it is. I surrender. I don't want to do this anymore. This is great. I'm so glad I found it. But sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes that switch finds you. And when it finds you, it's almost the same thing. One day it can happen overnight. Like it can happen within hours, within a couple hours. Period. Prior, you could be feeling in the worst turmoil of your life, and then within a couple hours later, you're like, "Holy shit! I feel it. I don't want to do this anymore. I surrender. I give up. That's it. I don't want this anymore. I just gotta, even if I don't feel it right now, I had a taste of it for like 10 seconds. That's what I want. That's it. I'll find it again because your brain got a taste of it already. It knows it now. It acknowledges it. Then you start subconsciously seeking it again. And then when you find it again, it might take you a few tries and you will feel it again and again. You'll grasp it. And when you grasp it, it's the best feeling. You're like, that's it. I want sobriety. The switch found me. I didn't have to find it. And a lot of people search and find it themselves, and vice versa. So the point of this video is like, don't get thrown off by the imbalances, guys. Don't get thrown off by it, because those ups and downs, that pink cloud, that this, that, and the third, and fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the 12th, 20, and 50. It's all these different fluctuations that come in so many numbers. It's not you. it's your neurochemistry, dude. Like, your brain is, it, if you're a freaking marathon runner and your leg has been broken for so long and you heal and you start running again, there's going to be times when you start running, like with me with Thai boxing. I've hurt my leg, my knee, broke my rib. I've done a lot of things, and I'm getting back into the groove. Emperor's got his groove back, and there's times I get the pain in those spots again, and I get discouraged, and I'm like, shit. It throws my mentality off. It throws my physical performance off, and then it goes away, and I condition myself, and I get more stronger, and over time, it just doesn't come back again. And I stabilize, and then it's gone, dude. You need to do that. Don't get discouraged by your imbalances. They are not real. They transfer into human thought, terminology, action, emotion, and emotional response. Don't get discouraged by it, because if you do and you fall for that trap, you're going to go psych wards, hospitals, many, many meetings, which I don't discourage meetings. I'm just saying, you're going to do whatever you can to feel like it's your fault or things are never going to be the same. But if you can acknowledge the fact that that's what it is, you won't get discouraged as much. And when you don't get discouraged about that, you'll believe in yourself more, which will then in turn rewire your brain quicker, because you are intelligent enough to distinguish the difference between that. And then your brain will go, hey, I get it now. I don't have to fall victim to the imbalance machine anymore. I can acknowledge it when it comes, let it pass, meditate on it, and then eventually your brain will stabilize. Some people go on MAT because they don't see the light. They think that these imbalances, like I just said, are them. That's them before they were on drugs. And no, that you before you were on drugs, it will come back if you allow it, if you acknowledge this stuff. The chemistry. Why the hell do you think we're human, dude? Like, seriously, why do you think we are human? We have brains, skulls, and, um, you know, we have all of these aspects of our biology, our neurology, and you know what I mean? Like, we have all of these aspects to our bodies because they have a system. Duh. Dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, your amygdala is responsible for your emotions, your emotional response. Um, your hypothalamus, your internal thermostat, all this stuff, all of these functions of your brain, these. I don't want to get into the science of it, but I'm just saying, trying to speak in layman's terms, like, they have their functions. So think about that. Think about that. Yeah, blame those things. You can. This is the chance where you can blame something. You can blame these things and point at them and go, "It's your fault. It's your fault. I'm feeling this way. It's your fault. I'm feeling this way." Amygdala. It's your dopamine. All you can blame these things because you just got off of drug addiction and drug abuse. So, of course, you're not gonna feel perfect. It's not gonna last forever. So don't let people make you feel afraid. Oh, it lasted me 18 years and I'm still not over it. Maybe they're still not over it. I know people that were on 25-year addictions to the hardest substances you can think of, and within 2 years, not even, I don't think about that stuff anymore, dude. Like, I really don't. I don't think about it anymore. And that's great because they snapped out of it. You can too. You don't need to fall victim. You don't have to. You just don't have to. As long as you acknowledge the functionality of your brain. Study, study. Go ahead. Just study. Understand it. Eventually, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. I'm having a depressive home. This must mean that, this, that, and the third's happening up there, and it's not really me. Good. Now you get it. Anyway, I don't want to talk your ears off, but I want you to understand that it's not really you. Your mind and your brain are different. Your brain, the imbalances in your brain, trick your mind, and your mind responds to imbalances in your brain. Takes over your whole personality, your whole everything about you. Some people commit suicide. It's sick, I know, but that's the reality of life, man. It's sick, it's sad, it's very upsetting, but acknowledge it before it happens. When it happens, while it happens, after it happens, you might be better off. Just acknowledge it. Take my word, please. Good night, guys.